Hey horror fans, welcome back to Room 237, and this might be a first because this is another review from the Bela Lugosi set, but this might actually be the first rant, if this ends up becoming a rant, but that's 1939's The Gorilla, which is another comedic horror film, like a horror plot with a horror legend, Bela Lugosi, but with comedic actors. It's basically a spoof of the big house with people inside kind of horror movie. I mean, I've already reviewed The Old Dark House, which this would qualify as. This came out before One Body Too Many, which is also a comedy. So was The Old Dark House, but that's definitely the most horror out of all of them. But this seems to kind of be spoofing that idea. People trapped, locked, or stuck in this house with some sort of threat. Someone is doing it. And I don't really know what really to say about it. I mean, Bela Lugosi has the same role that he did in One Body Too Many. He's just the butler, and he's barely in it. It also stars Lionel Atwill, who was in Son of Frankenstein. This was the same year as Son of Frankenstein. Anita Louise, Patsy Kelly, and the three Rich brothers, Al, Harry, and Jimmy. Directed by Alan Dwan, who can't say I know anything else he's directed. These are all, pre-1920. Let's see. The Gorilla. I Dream of Jeannie. I guess that was a movie before it was a show. Anyway. The plot is, okay. There's this killer going around named the Gorilla. And he's going around, and there's this big house, this mansion, where Lionel Atwill lives. And I believe it's his wife or his maid. I think it's his maid, played by Patsy Kelly. I think it was her. I don't know. This movie was harder to get into because I did watch this right after One Body Too Many, and it's a very less funny version of it. Looks like this hand is reaching through the window to give her a note that threatens Lionel Atwill, saying he's the next to die, because it opens up with a bunch of newspaper articles like the Gorilla strikes again. It doesn't really say why he's named the Gorilla. There is a line because he's a vicious killer, but even when he reaches through the window, it's like this big hairy arm. And so they hire these, and Bela Lugosi is the butler. He's just there to look sinister and just kind of say lines the way he does. But they hire a detective to come out and help them. What they get is the three Rich brothers, and if you don't know who the Rich Brothers are, this was a vehicle for them. Take the Three Stooges, have them all act like Curly, but take out the slapstick. Meaning they all kind of do the whole like woof 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 woof, and get kind of scared easily, go cross-eyed, act really goofy and over the top, but they don't do like the type stuff. And I didn't really find it that funny. Especially the one, the well, I don't even know the names of the three brothers. Well, I know the names, but I don't really know who is who. It gives me a picture here. Jimmy, Harry, and Al. I want to say it's Harry. That's like the one that's always in the middle, has the most lines. Cause one's kind of like Larry. He's quiet. The other one's kind of mid-range, and then I think it's Harry is the really over-the-top one. Like when it says, "Hey, we hired some detectives," it shows this convertible outside in the rain. It shows the outside of this umbrella with these two eye holes, and it's like the umbrella lifts and it's three brothers because they're afraid of thunder. That's a running gag in the film. And then when they're told that it's a gorilla, I swear to God, he even does like the woof that Curly does, like the gorilla, like G woof, O woof, R woof, gorilla. Yes, Lou Costello kind of does do like the spittering, sputtering when afraid kind of reaction. Yes, Jack Haley did kind of do that in One Body Too Many. But here it's just, it feels so much like Three Stooges, and where they don't really do the slapsticky stuff. It, and also just in this kind of film, it just felt a little over the top. And so that's the film. It's just a bunch of running around the house. They keep trying to like. They always think someone is more suspicious, and then they try to put them in their place, and it never goes well. The maid wants to quit because she's afraid of Bela Lugosi, and of course Lugosi is probably there to make us think he's the culprit. Um, I'm just reading up on stuff. I can't really think. There weren't really any parts that made me laugh. And then the whole other part of the plot is that there really is a gorilla from the zoo that escapes and makes his way to the house. But it's not a real gorilla. It's a guy in a suit. Which, what I will say is, this gorilla is a lot scarier looking than the ape from The Ape. Or, Ape Man, excuse me. Like, this one has more of like a Harry and the Hendersons type look. It's just a lot creepier looking. I mean, there's like a whole scene where, again, I think it's Harry. It's like, well, I'm gonna go tell him a thing or two, and he walks through like 3 or 4 rooms, like swinging door, room, swinging door, and then he just keep, and the gorilla's behind him the whole time, and then the woman is sees him, is afraid. He's like, well, what are you so afraid of? Like, what are you so afraid of? Hey, come on, come on. And then she runs off, and he's like, well, we got to do something. Yeah, I'll make a note of that, huh? Uh-uh. Uh, the and I think one of the main reasons why, um, like, why this movie gets picked to, 'cause I believe it's on my 50 horror classics collection as well. I mean, there's a bunch of Bela Lugosi horror movies that you could have put on here. This one is public domain. I think that's why it will get picked a lot to be put in these sort of horror classic collections, even though it is very dominantly a comedy. I mean, okay, The Old Dark House is a horror film with comedy in it. One Body Too Many, it is a comedy, but at least that has somewhat atmosphere, some sort of creepy images. The murder mystery is taken a bit more seriously, whereas this is all pretty much just laughs, or at least it's supposed to be. I didn't really find it funny, and I was actually falling asleep towards the end, so I actually don't. I kind of missed who the killer was, and so I'm just kind of trying to see who the. Okay, Anita Louise is Lionel Atwell's niece. The Rich Brothers are a low-rent version of the Marx Brothers. That's what one reviewer put. I don't know if I'd go as far as saying the Marx Brothers, even a bad version of them. I would definitely say they're definitely more of a Stooges ripoff. But anyway, definitely a shorter review because there's not too much to say about it. I wasn't a fan of this film. Uh, the more I go through this set, as beautiful as this set is, the more I'm seeing either some comedies. I know there's a lot of just serial films with no genre, or it's just Lugosi is just a very minor role. I mean, why not put, Mark and the Vampire or Murders in the Rue Morgue or something like that in there? I don't know. I should save that discussion for when I do my video on this set, which I keep mentioning. Anyway, that's all I got for the Gorilla. It's I can't really recommend it, but plugs once again. Forgot to put at the beginning of the film. Go to one of my recent videos. Thank you to 500 subs. The Q&A video. So put your questions in the comments there. Go like the Room 237 Reviews Facebook page. And if you're interested in checking out the Patreon, check out the tiers, see if you'd like to be a patron. I'd be greatly appreciated if you did. If not, no worries, but go check out the new Patreon as well. And other than that, thank you for watching.